Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. You woke up today in a bungalow. You woke up today in a bungalow in Burleson, Texas. Alliteration. And you thought, damn it, the Stars are going to do it again. And by do it, I mean lose in the postseason. Yep, there it is. Dallas Stars down 3-2 after losing to the Wild 4-2 last night. In the rest of the NHL, the Bruins alive, 2-1 win over the Sabres. The Oilers over the Ducks by a score of 4-1. In the NBA, I was in New York last night. 126-97, the Knicks over the Hawks, and I was not allowed to leave the bar by the New Yorkers until this game was truly out of hand. That was the verbiage. Going into the fourth quarter,
touch yourself.
Knicks leading the game by double digits. It was still the question of, well, will they hold the lead? We don't know that. Nobody moved. Nobody leave. Nobody do anything different. They did. Domination from Mike Brown's team. Jalen Brunson, 39 points, 8 assists last night for the Knickerbockers. 114 points for the Spurs in a 114-95 win over the Trailblazers in San Antonio for the first time since 2017. I was not born yet, by the way. First time since 2017, the Spurs have won a playoff series. 76ers 113, Celtics 97. Alex Cora was almost hired by the Phillies, and Mike Tomlin might be the head coach of the New England Patriots next year. Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning. I feel like I'm on camera a little early this morning. I'm a little nervous.
I typically I've the last few weeks I've gotten into the rhythm of open show, go on long aggressive monologue, sometimes boring, other times entertaining. Good morning, Curtis, to you as well. And I thought, why not include my two best friends in the entire world off the top of the show today?
You got to make more friends.
See, I could see you dozing off. Curtis was already asleep, and I thought, you know what? They think they're going to get away with 40 minutes of just sitting back and listening to me ramble. Not today. Incorrect. Co-host
Actually,
Addie Bates today.
I was making sure that we weren't sending double audio to YouTube because I saw you producing audio levels earlier. So I wanted to make sure. I was doing the thing that they call the producing. I was
producing the show. Yeah. Addie, obviously storylines abound. It's the middle of April, and we're still in the first round of all of the postseasons, unless you're the Avalanche and you haven't played a game in 6 weeks because you're that good at hockey. Last night in the NBA, the NHL, last week I give a menu to the people. Where do you want to start today from what you saw last night? I'm going to give you, the producer, the opportunity. Spin the wheel, spin the wheel, spin the wheel.
I love this. NBA.
Nice. It is the NBA from last night. Again, downtown New York, and the place was buzzing because of the Knicks. Can I ask you a close and personal question, please?
Big Gooner.
How do you, because I've learned this, today's an educational show. We're going to learn things about each other. How do you stay up until 4 a.m. to watch the last NBA game and then host a radio show? How does one do that?
I have a good answer for this. I don't.
Oh, that's just me with my 9th Red Bull. I haven't slept yet. I'll be in Vegas the rest of the week, too. I was in New York last night. I'll be in Vegas the rest of the week.
You didn't sleep at all last night?
That's called pulling a me, by the way.
It's called pulling a Curtis. It's just doing what Curtis does. Do as Curtis's do. I'll be in Vegas the rest of the week, which the show is from 3 to 6 there. So we've really packed it in to this 5 days. Are you admitting to not watching the NBA? It's okay if you didn't watch the last game last night.
No, I was tucked away in bed. I was like snug as a bug in a rug.
Ooh, well then I'll stretch. I got you. I can break down exactly what happened. As the San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama was incredible again, and last night he was the catalyst for the Spurs fending off the Portland Trailblazers. Like a failed comeback attempt from Portland. There was never a time where I thought San Antonio was in doubt of winning this game. Like they were going to win the contest no matter what. But Portland, who was down by as many as 25 points, I mean, at one point San Antonio was creeping towards 30. Portland crawled back, and with 8 minutes to go, it was 91-82. And you thought, okay, is there a sign of life from Denny Advia and the Portland Trailblazers? And the answer to that question is no. 114-95, Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs close out the series. Last night, the Spurs shot 55% to the Portland Trailblazers shooting 35%. San Antonio 12 for 30 behind the arc as well. And despite turning the ball over 17 times, got a win in San Antonio to win the series 4-1. Victor Wembanyama on ESPN last night with the dagger. There was no chance already. There's double no chance after his 6th block of the game inside of 2 minutes to go.
Get back and show what he's got left.
There's a lot of young talent around this team. Wembanyama just steals Kamara's soul. And out of bounds. San Antonio ball, his 6th rejection, and the crowd rises as one.
Steals his soul. San Antonio fans they knew in that moment they had won a series for the first time in 9 years. Addie, thoughts on game 1?
Of Spurs?
On game 1 that I have broken down for you. See, this is what I'm doing here is I'm imagining the person who's woken up today in Burleson, Texas that did not get to watch this game. I'm just making sure that I've broken it down for you in a
game 1.
Okay, you want me to do the rest of the NBA as well?
I guess, yeah, I mean, cool. That's awesome. Wembanyama doing Wembanyama stuff. As a Houston Rockets fan, that's just, it's another Texas team,
don't make it sound so boring. It's the Houston Rockets and the benched Kevin Durant or whatever they're doing with that. San Antonio wins it by 19 points. The Knicks and the Hawks last night. The New York Knicks behind 39 points from Jalen Brunson. And in this game, there was not a defining point where I thought, like the Spurs and Blazers, when the Trailblazers brought up within single digits and 9 points and 8 points, and you're like, all right, well, what if? There are a couple Denny Advia big plays away, which did not happen from being in the game. There was never a moment where the Atlanta Hawks were going to be in the game against the Knicks last night. The closest they got in the fourth quarter was 18 points, 16 points. And it was the Knicks just creeping the lead further and further in a complete and utter rout. 29-point victory, 126-97, shooting 57%. And it was the boards. 48 rebounds for the Knicks, 27 for the Atlanta Hawks. This game was so bad, we don't even have highlights. You don't need highlights. It was a 29-point victory for New York. And again, the pulse of the city. Somebody 48 hours ago said to me, hey, when the Knicks are good like this, when the Knicks win in the postseason, it is tangible in New York. The greatest city in the world with people walking, all walks of life, walking around. You can feel the Knicks. You can feel the culture of New York through the Knicks when they're good. And yesterday, they absolutely were. And then the questions about the Knicks when they went down 2-1 and Mike Brown said, well, I'm not saying we're going to win a championship. And the dialogue over whether or not Mike Brown would keep his job, at least for the time being, that's put away. And New Yorkers last night did something that kind of blew me away. They all held hands. They were Mary Steenburgen in the Elf movie with Will Ferrell. Just one of them started singing a Christmas carol, and the rest of them joined in. And next thing you know, the entire city of New York is the Who Village. They're doing one of the Who Village things in honor of New York Knicks.
Whoville.
I think Who Village, its proper name.
The Whoville song is the da boo do re da boo.
Those aren't the lyrics. Those
definitely. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Correct. We're 10 minutes into the show, and I'm dropping a Mary Steenburgen reference. It's a Wednesday, baby. It's the Who Are You Day, that damn game we play at the end of the show that I hate.
Because you're terrible at it.
Knicks win. Over in the 76ers and the Celtics series in Boston, Celtics can just put this thing away. They're up 3-1. Just go end it. But one man, zero appendix, Joel Embiid, 33 points, 8 assists last night, and didn't have to make anything from behind the arc. And the worst part of this game, if you're a Boston sports fan, which it's felt like to me the entire postseason has gone this way, you're very happy about one of your teams, the Bruins over the Sabres, and you are just distraught about your other team. Last night it was the Celtics losing to the 76ers 113-97. Can I give you the stat of all stats for the NBA play? I'm going to give you the stat of all stats for the NBA playoffs. Going into the fourth quarter of this game, the Celtics led the contest by a point. Now, that's not the stat of all stats, but I want you to know, going into the fourth quarter, the Celtics led the game. The Celtics led at halftime. This was a 76ers comeback in the third quarter to make it interesting, to get it close, but Boston still led. Only for Jason Tatum and company to score 11 total points. 11 points in the fourth quarter of this game. A fall apart. Middle of the fourth, it was that man without the appendix, Joel Embiid. And this is, you know what? Let's go here first. Addy, I'm excited to show you this. Let's go here first. Joel Embiid fade away in the fourth quarter to put the 76ers in control of the game.
On Jaylen Brown. And Embiid against Tatum. Pulls back, backs in, falling away. It's up. It's good.
That was the theme of the night, Joel Embiid. Also, Addy, there's this. Every morning, I've told you, the audience, I'm going to peel back the curtain each day and give you some behind the scenes on how sports radio works. Every day, Addy and I are sent highlights. Addy, do you make these? How do these come to fruition?
No, I do not make.
These are like the elf on the shelf to me.
Don't insult me like that again. Don't do that again.
These are the elf on the shelf to me. I don't know where they come from, and I don't know who makes them, and I don't know how this happens.
They come from
Anything?
They come from we outsource them.
They're from the Highlight North Pole.
Yes, they're from the Highlight North Pole, and they get sent by one of the big bosses between the hours of 5 and 6, sometimes 6 and 7. I'm not trying to make a 6-7 joke.
When a mommy producer and a daddy producer really love each other, they make whatever this is. We're sent highlights every day. And either Addy or I, one, will listen to them to, vet them before they go out on the air and just make sure that, hey, this is kosher, good to go, put it out there. It's going to give you a good idea of what happened in the game last night. Well, get ready for this. Philadelphia, Paul George is about to put the 76ers ahead in the fourth quarter.
Just want to put this thing out.
All right, thank you for your time. Mike.
All right, Lisa. Paul George knocks down the three.
That's it.
They also labeled it, the part that people don't know, they labeled it MLB Philly, so it was a great start.
Yeah, they did.
Do this every day. One job.
Drake, why did you pick that one to play on
Jenny.
air? Why did you pick that to play on air?
I needed just one day. I needed the people to understand the asylum that I live in every morning when I turn the highlights on. And one will be this wax poetic Connor Onion. You're like, okay, good minute and 11 seconds about how this team won. And the next one's just, okay, thank you, Jenny. Paul George, 3. The whole thing.
I was like, so in the morning, like we're doing the sports minutes, we're doing a million different things. So Drake, I will send all these highlights that I'm sent to Drake. Drake will pick through them and stuff like that. So we
and most mornings I listen to all of them. And this morning I could not. I was hyperventilating, laughing so hard. Thanks, Jenny. Paul George for 3.
It's like one of those 1920s baseball highlights.
Yeah, I think it was Breen too. I didn't mean to make Breen sound that way. Over in hockey, we're giving, this is the Sports Center wraparound here. Philly wins it in comeback fashion and stifles Boston, holds the Celtics to 11 points in the fourth quarter, which in our industry we call that bad. Over in hockey, it was David Pastrnak with the overtime goal to keep the Boston Bruins season alive, as heard on TNT.
Krebs and a quick re-entry. Had McLeod breaking, couldn't get it there. Stretch pass on. Pastrnak in. Scores!
Makes the left pad save. And then the puck goes the other way. And Pastrnak sneaks in behind everyone. And a little cutback move as he makes it on the forehand here. Great edge work to cut back, stop on a dime, and then slide it past the left skate of the goaltender, Alex Lyon. I mean, this is just a magnificent individual effort here by a multi-talented player, and he has been the difference maker on the offensive side of it for that one. And as Bruce said earlier, I mean, plays weren't happening easily for Pastrnak.
And that's what a good highlight sounds like. Bruins win it 2-1. Pastrnak gets it done in OT. Yeah, I like the analysis. I could picture it as he was as the analyst was explaining what happened, the goal from Pastrnak. I could picture it. Yes.
Well, you keep the full sentence of the thought in there if you're going to do that. But what do I know?
Typically, you would not cut him off at the end, that last word. But I will give them a free pass based on what we just heard from Paul George.
From the MLB Phillies, Paul George.
From the MLB 76ers. I will give them a free pass. Alex Lyon was great in goal last night. Did not matter for the Sabres, who lose it at home. Wild double up the Stars in Dallas. Will the pain ever end? And the Oilers 4-1 over the Ducks. Anaheim still leads that series 3-2. And by the way, should tell you Minnesota leading 3-2 over the Stars. When we return, oh, I'm ready for this. Oh, I'm ready for that. I'm stretching. I'm doing the Michael Phelps thing where I'm slapping my shoulders and I have bruises.
I thought you meant hitting the ball.
They're doing the little. No, not this early.
Other Michael Phelps thing.
Michael Phelps thing. Oh yeah, I forgot he did do the weed that one time. Will Mike Tomlin be the next head coach of the New England Patriots as Mike Vrabel steps down in the next few weeks? That rumor surfaced, and it's a juicy one. This is Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
She's a rich girl, she don't try to hide it. Diamonds on the soles of her shoes. He's a poor boy, empty as a pocket. Empty as a pocket with nothing to lose. Sing ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. 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 Say she's crazy, she got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of your shoes. She was physically forgotten, but then she slipped into my pocket with my car keys. She said, you've taken me for granted because I please you. Wearing these diamonds. And I could say, ooh, as if everybody knows what I'm talking about. As if everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about diamonds on the soles of her shoes. She makes the sign of a teaspoon, he makes the sign of a wave. The poor boy changes clothes and he puts on aftershave to compensate for his ordinary shoes. And she said, honey, take me dancing, but they ended up by sleeping in a doorway by the bodegas and the lights on over Broadway, wearing diamonds on the soles of their shoes. And I could say, ooh. And everybody here would know what I was talking about. I mean, everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about time. People say I'm crazy, I got diamonds on the soles of my shoes, yeah. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of my shoes. Ta-na-na-na, 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 ta-na-na-na.
And the back. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates. Curtis Poindexter. And this could be the first day of the rest of our lives. NBA postseason, NHL postseason. The Phillies almost hiring Alex Cora in the middle of their season. Instead, he was like, yo, dog, I'm good. I just want to go to Cancun. Please just let me go home. And across the NFL, after the NFL draft, and your team, whether you're the Jacksonville Jaguars and had the worst draft of all time, or you are the New York Football Giants and had a solid B+, A- draft, or the Dallas Cowboys and didn't throw up all over yourself. You have something to be excited for, something to look forward to with your NFL franchise, because the guys you drafted last week, the guys you got, will be the ones who lead you to the Super Bowl victory that you take in 3 seasons. At least that's the belief. And outside of the NFL draft, and now that we've exited the NFL draft, the NFL headlines are silly. Aaron Rodgers, what is he going to do? Will he play quarterback again for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Oh, and by the way, the Steelers placed this seldom used, this UFA tender on Rodgers. It's like an insurance move. So post-draft, he had that this whole, hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to let us know before the draft. He didn't do that. Nobody seemed to care. Art Rooney's like, no, we're going to move the goalpost a little bit and let Aaron Rodgers decide to do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it. This tender preserves the Steelers' right to receive a compensatory draft pick if Rodgers signs with another team, and it doesn't seem like he's going to do that. This will limit his ability, by the way, to sign with another team once training camp begins, and the Steelers will have negotiating rights and all of that jazz. They're preparing for these conversations to go into the summer, it sounds like. And another condition, Rodgers can accept a 10% raise from last year's salary, giving him $15-ish million this year. And despite using that tender, just in case Rodgers does not come back to play, the Steelers are confident he will sign with them and be their starting quarterback. They are holding out for Aaron Rodgers to be their QB. The Steelers want him as the signal caller next season. Diego Pavia being signed by the Ravens, headed to minicamp. The quarterback news in the NFL is ripe. And I was reading this. I sent Addie a post yesterday. This is the weirdest one. This is the wildest one. And now I'm reading it on Yahoo Sports, which is even weirder that it's got that kind of traction and sourcing behind it, that people are tying Mike Tomlin, the aforementioned Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, who is also in Cancun with Alex Cora, tying Mike Tomlin to New England. What do you mean tying Mike Tomlin to New England?
You know how it is. If
don't the Patriots?
My aunt had male parts, she'd be my uncle.
They have a coach, right? They have Mike Vrabel. Well, the Times of India continues to drum up Jason Whitlock, Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel, Mike Tomlin controversy. Yahoo Sports ran an article today saying the Patriots, per a report, are eyeing Mike Tomlin to replace Mike Vrabel. Is this real? Vrabel, to give you some context, was seen interlocking fingers with Diana Rossini in Sedona, this spicy Sedona getaway for the two, where, well, I shouldn't say for the two. Diana Rossini, she was with her running friends, and they go to resorts together all the time, and they hang out, and then Mike Vrabel just so happened to be there. And when these pictures surfaced of the two holding hands, and the court of public opinion was fairly damning, they decided to say it was laughable. They would never have a nefarious relationship. They're Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. Diana Rossini is a senior reporter for the NFL. She goes on all of the TV shows and radio shows that you listen to about sports, and you've seen Rossini give her take on Twitter or on TV many times. Well, Mike Vrabel is an NFL head coach. Of course they couldn't have an affair. He's married. Got a 24-year-old, 25-year-old kid, couple of kids with his wife who he married in 1999. Diana Rossini, she's married, husband's an Eagles fan, kind of notable. She talks about it in interviews, and she has 2 young kids. And then more starts to leak from this. And the we're just interlocking fingers becomes, we might have been getting it on. Rossini would quit her job with The Athletic, mind you, and in the wake of quitting her job would say that she did quit her job because she was so innocent. I didn't do it, so I had to quit. It was becoming a distraction for me, and for me to best do my job, I need to stop doing my job. For Vrabel, he approached the situation differently. Rossini denied. Vrabel goes to the podium and says, hey, so I've had to apologize to my family, and I'm working on it as I speak.
Big gooner.
And it was spoken about as if Vrabel had met with the Patriots team, which he did, had met with them and given, like, hey, guys, mistakes happen. It's, a one-time thing, and it won't happen. I take full accountability. And then what surfaces are pictures from 6 years ago of the two kissing in a bar. How do these pictures just surface? It's kind of crazy, right? And it goes from Mike Vrabel giving these statements to the public about how, like, I got to work on me, got to work on my family. And the tune shifts from, one-time thing, happened in Sedona, my bad, we're working on this, to, it's been going on for 6 years. They've been getting it on for 6 years. And people are tracking when she had her kids and if they coincide with when she saw Vrabel and when she was in Nashville and he was coaching the Titans. And the investigators on social media have gone nuts over this. So Rossini has lost her job. In the middle of all of this, by the way, at 5 a.m. one morning, she tweeted out something along the lines of, NFL referees want justice. People are like, hey, whoa, wait a second. You aren't a senior insider anymore. And any time that you tweet about the National Football League, your responses are going to be filled with people who are very unhappy with this situation. Same for the Patriots, same for Vrabel. Any social media posts have been overran by the court of public opinion. And now, per Yahoo, reports have surfaced that Vrabel could step down. Now, that part I completely get. I have received texts from those who are close to the situation saying they would not be surprised. There's nothing concrete to say that Mike Vrabel is going to step down in New England. But I have received word that I think the verbiage was, I don't think he can escape this. And I don't believe Robert Kraft will do anything. I don't believe that the franchise will bring this down on Mike Vrabel. It's just that court of public opinion, the distraction Mike Vrabel is going to be as the head coach of the Patriots this year because he was getting it on, allegedly, with Diana Rossini. I've seen the pictures. He's apologized. He missed the third day of the draft. By the way, I think a lot of the workplace, typically if you're a CPA, if you work at Merrill Lynch, all right, if you have one of these if you have a job anywhere, you work at Popeyes, and you get a divorce, your spouse cheats, you leave your wife and kids of 10 years in just the biggest D-bag move of all time. They're not going to fire you. Why? Because that's completely separate of your work with Merrill Lynch or Popeyes or wherever you work. It's completely separate. Your personal life, your marriage, your family, that's over there. Work is right here. But then Vrabel missed the third day of the NFL draft. Of course, being at the first 2 days of the NFL draft, he could mentally handle that. It was that third day that was really going to bog him down. He needed to go to counseling and therapy and focus on his family. Of course, again, the first 2 days of the draft, he didn't need to focus on family. The back half of the draft, he did. So he skipped day 3. And that's when the issue comes in. When the personal life, when your decisions, your mistakes, your victories in your personal life, anything in that realm begin to affect your job to the point where you're not at the most important day of your job of the whole year. The most important weekend of your job the whole year, the NFL draft. That's when it becomes a problem. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Mike Vrabel stepped down. Do you understand the distraction already that New England has and how much worse it's going to be for the players as the season begins? How much worse it is for the players who are human beings asking questions to the human being Mike Vrabel, who they trusted as their head coach? These intimate moments. Vrabel said, I promise my family, this organization, this team, I want to give them the best version of me that I can possibly give them. In order to do so, I've committed to seeking counseling starting this weekend. He said it last week. And he wants to lead by example. A Patriots insider told Daily Mail reporters Russ Weekland and Ben Nagel that the franchise will eye Mike Tomlin. So there's your sourcing. A Patriots insider tells Russ Weekland, Ben Nagel from the Daily Mail, which is, if we're leaking information, I'm not sure if that's where we're going with it, but this Patriots insider did, that the franchise would eye Mike Tomlin to replace Mike Vrabel if something ends up happening with the latter. Again, per Yahoo Sports. And I don't think I would have even transparently opened this tweet, opened this Yahoo headline, if not for what we just saw in the news that came down out of Philadelphia in the last 24 hours, that in moving on from their manager, the Phillies called Alex Cora and said, hey, do you just want to do something crazy and in the middle of the season hop over here and coach us? Do you want to be our manager? And the same response that Mike Tomlin has given to every NFL team that's called his phone, Alex Cora gave to the Phillies. No, I'm in Cancun. I'm with my family. I'm getting to hang out with them. I'm spending some time off. I'm okay right now. I don't need this. But if you're Mike Tomlin, if it's true that Vrabel cannot escape this, that Vrabel will have to, and it will be his last job, quite possibly as a head coach in the National Football League, if he does step down. But if he has to step down over this, which, again, we've already clarified would not be shocking, is Tomlin an option? Is Mike Tomlin who you want as a Patriots fan? I mean, he hasn't had the keys to much in Pittsburgh and has still been winning. He's had a beaten-up 2003 Toyota Corolla. If you give him the keys to Drake May and the New England Patriots, if you give him the keys to a 2026 Bentley, can Mike Tomlin do what he did now almost 20 years ago and win a Super Bowl? New England was on the doorstep of it. And one of the most beloved head coaches in NFL history is on the market. I want you to monitor this. I want you to chew on this for the next couple of weeks, as Mike Vrabel's future is still very much in the air, and where New England would go without Mike Vrabel is a question we should start asking. It's something you can start considering. What is next for New England if Vrabel is not the guy? I was telling somebody yesterday. I was on the subway. This guy, he looked down at his luck, and he looked over to me and he said, and I was like kind of zoned out at this point. I'm getting back to the hotel, so I was out of it, super out of it. After went to Broadway show and watched the Knicks play, and he leans over and goes, "Hey man, shine matters." In the Shine Showdown, 84% of people chose Tidal Wave over the competition. Stop by Tidal Wave and get that clean car, happy feeling. Find locations at TidalWaveAutoSpa.com, TidalWaveAutoSpa.com. Coming up, our biggest losers of the day, including Texas Rangers fans. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The draft is behind us.
Now one of these days I'll wake up tired of the life I'm living and feel inspired to get off my ass and be on my way. One of these days I'll wake up steady and ready to go like Richard Petty. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days I'm coming up to it, gonna put my foot right down and do it. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. I made a change. One of these days I'm bound for glory, and that's the moral of this whole story. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days.
cheetah print, dancing on the people, rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people, dancing on the people. I got people on the people, dancing on the people with the people on the people, smoking CO2. See me, see you dancing.
It
on
is the
people,
Drake
climb
Toll
up
Show.
on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My head is the
Addy Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. I am Drake Toll from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12.
Bananas.
Can I think that song, every time I hear Purple Hat by Sophie Tucker, it makes me feel things that I wasn't sure that humans were allowed to feel.
Make you feel
that I was told as a young child. It makes me feel people, purple people, purple. Those are the only lyrics.
Makes you feel like
It
Grimace.
makes me feel things that I was told as a kid that I should not feel.
Touch yourself.
And so I sit down this week. We're going to Las Vegas with the Bananas this weekend. And I sit down yesterday with our crew to plan our moments, the walk-ups, the dances, the bits. Like, okay, in between innings, what are we going to do to entertain the people? And I said, hey, let's do something extravagant with Purple Hat by Sophie Tucker. Not a single person in the room had ever heard that song.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't.
Really? Wow.
No, I don't. I kind of moved on from, songs about the purple people eaters.
Dancing on the people?
About Grimace and...
If we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Yeah.
Man, I can't get over the Haley Hocktua girl. What is her? Haley Welch. I still can't get over that. Was it Russillo? Who was she on with? We played that clip.
I think I blocked that out of my memory, so...
I don't remember who she was on with, but we played her radio clip where she did an interview for the first time in a year because she may have committed fraud. Oops. And they made her say Hocktua. Remember that, where they kept forcing her to do it?
Hocktua. Spit on it.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
And then she said if she didn't help the Mets win, Grimace would. And I thought, wow, we as a society are allowing the Hocktua girl to have a platform where she is openly admitting that Grimace, the McDonald's fat purple mascot, could help the New York Metropolitans win baseball games. I shouldn't have weight shamed Grimace.
Yeah, that was
rude. That is on me.
That was so rude.
I didn't mean to dig into
People
the guy
obsessed
like
with
that.
McDonald's?
Or girl.
It came in so fast and so hard.
Or amorphous thing, whatever Grimace is. It's time for our biggest losers of the day. Biggest loser number one. Texas Rangers fans? Addy Bates, why don't you take this one?
Always. Anytime that I can dog on the Rangers fans, I'm going to. So somebody was really upset about this Corey Seager call. Here, we'll play the highlight first, and then we'll break it down.
Line drive on one hop. Stabbed there by Chisholm, and he gets Seager.
All right. So, yeah. Just kind of, if you could hear it, you just, you hit a ball to second base, easy, flip it over to first. Sleeper Ranger says Corey Seager has been pretty unlucky lately. Second day in a row, he's hit a ball 100 plus for an out. Not too worried about him. And then somebody, sad Josh Force Enjoyer, said 102 straight into the dirt, and they're saying bad luck. It was literally just a ground ball. That's a routine play for Jazz.
Yeah, man. When guy hit ball, good things happen, right? I was always told if you put the ball in play, good things will happen. Guess that's not the case in the Rangers series against the Yankees for Corey Seager. Biggest losers of the day, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Well, maybe. Calvin Applebottom II tweets, how will Texas Tech ever get through this absolute gauntlet in 2026 without their $6 million quarterback? Yeah, and then you read their schedule. Tech plays Abilene Christian, Oregon State. They do face Houston on September 19th, who's a preseason top 25 team. But then Sam Houston State, Colorado. I don't think Arizona State or Cincinnati are in their way. Arizona, no Fafita, they'll be okay. But West Virginia missed a bowl. Oklahoma State missed a bowl. Baylor missed a bowl. And TCU is TCU. I don't think Texas Tech needs a quarterback with this schedule. Maybe they're the biggest winners today based on who they face in 2026. And they will walk to the college football playoff again. Biggest losers, the Anaheim Angels. from John Boy. A section of Angels Stadium has been closed off due to a suspected rodent infestation. It reminds me of the time when I was working at Baylor. We couldn't use the press box for the home opener, like Friday night home opener for baseball. I think the Bears playing Nebraska that year, maybe. And we couldn't use the press box because a family of raccoons over the offseason
oh my God,
had burrowed into the press box. And it was, how when PETA gets involved, like, don't touch the raccoons. This is their habitat now. You call animal control. They shut the whole thing down. Nobody can be in the press box. The raccoons live here now.
It's so funny. My first time calling a football game for Valpo, that somebody handed me like this wooden stick, and I was like, oh, what is plank, I should say. I was like, what is this for? And like, oh, you'll see. Oh, that's because there's a bunch of bees in there. And so...
Bees?
Yes! It's like a
What are the bees doing?
Are there any walls around?
What are the bees doing specifically to the walls?
And I was like, oh, I'm just supposed to be like, all right, shotgun formation, whap! I was like, what am I? That's what you're supposed to do. They're like, here's a wooden plank. Here you go. Get rid of the bees.
You got to meet them in the A-gap. You got to meet the bees in the A-gap. The Drake Toll Show is free and available wherever you get your video, too. YouTube and Twitter. For bonus editions of the inside jokes of the show, that is. Biggest loser of the day, Anthony Volpe. A lot of baseball today. Addy, the New York Yankees tweet. Today, the Yankees transferred the rehab assignment of Anthony Volpe from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre to AA Somerset. Aww. Cutter is King tweets. First person to ever be demoted on their rehab assignment. Addy?
So Anthony Volpe, he wasn't good last year. People were like, oh my God, this guy's awful. Well, he was injured apparently the whole season. But I don't think we can use that as the excuse this year. Guys, he might just be bad. I'm sorry. He might actually not be good at baseball.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah. I've started to think Anthony Volpe might not be great at baseball.
Yeah. Pour one out
Surely
for Anthony
in
Volpe.
AA, he'll tear it up. Biggest winners today. Travis Bazzana, first ever #1 overall pick from Australia. Walks up to Down Under for his first major league at bat.
Savannah for Cleveland. The second baseman, number 37, Travis Bazzana.
Oh, this is a patient guy.
Did you hear what they were playing?
Well,
Is that at work? Down Under.
All right, Curtis. Come on. Who sings it, Curtis?
I don't know. I was busy making an Arnar joke.
Come on, Kurt. The announcer just said it. Men at Work, Down Under. Curtis, what's their other song? What's the only other Men at Work song?
Down Under?
Oh, Curtis, who could it be now?
Also, they have Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive. They have It's Too Late. They have a lot. I love Men at Work.
Only like the purple song.
They're Duran Duran adjacent.
Yeah, 80s music's my favorite,
Curtis only really knows the Purple Hat song and Fight Club. Those are the only two pieces of media he's consumed that aren't the Drake Toll Show, and it's beginning to show. Our final biggest winner of the day, Cincinnati Reds fans. This comes from John Boy as well. The Reds have a promotion where fans win free pizza if the team gets 11 strikeouts in a game, and it was clinched in the 9th inning on an ABS challenge. Here's how the crowd blew up.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Wow. It's in the rundown.
It was added after I did the.
When did you put it in there, Drake? When did you put it in the rundown? I'm curious.
36 minutes ago, in the middle of my rant
and then you
about the
didn't
New
tell
York
anyone.
Knicks.
You just didn't say anything.
Well, you got to tell people when they're going to do that.
I was running a test, and by running a test, I mean I thought
that gave me something last minute. No way.
Which is so
it
funny.
magically happens.
Because you were like, look at this Travis Bazzana thing. And I was like, check the rundown, Drake. And you had already put the Reds thing right underneath where I queued up the Travis Bazzana. Like, what?
I never look at the biggest winners. I have no need for the biggest
and the
winners
biggest
every
losers.
day.
And
Biggest losers, us.
Yeah.
And I was taking shots
usually
from the
don't
front
have-
and the back. Time to get to the biggest winners, and today we did, and Bazzana was one of them, and the Reds fans were as well. You know what? Fine. Surprise. It was a strike. They won pizza. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted to pay off there? Me to tell you the result of what happened? You didn't need audio. You just have me tell you. And you know what? They yelled about it. And they sounded like every other crowd has ever sounded when a crowd yells at stuff. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter hits buttons in a artistic way.
And also
Coming up, let's do our obituaries.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me out. And if I need a breather, I can hit the parkway. Be home before the bars all close. Drink away the lies she told. Think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover, and a badass Jeep. Far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good hot loving on a gravel road, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Push came down to shove, I'd be a bandit for her love. Shoot sharp and walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the nights. I was a young punk kid from a dried up town, Cold Car County full of hunting hounds. She was the one who kept those boys at bay. Her high heels and my red wing boots, cutting couches in the living room, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? I can't win for all this losing, I can't see for all this boozing. But by God, I can keep it together. Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road, make up for lost time. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen. She ran on sex and gasoline. Far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
morning, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. The podcast people just heard that from my computer, by the way. Welcome to the Drake Toll Show. Wherever you are, the bus, the car, walking in the park. I walked in Central Park yesterday. It smells like a combination of hot dogs and feces with the occasional like dandelion or lily. I've decided the bright lights are too bright for me. I'm headed to Vegas. My heart yearns for the blackjack table and a pool that has the largest TV in the world that's inside of it, next to it. Maybe I'll go to the Sphere, too. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. The day after the New York Knicks got it done and finally looked like they were in control of the series against the Atlanta Hawks. The day after the Bruins, Boston stays alive with a win over the Sabres. That series is still 3-2 in favor of Buffalo. The day after, Jalen Brunson, by the way, dropped 39 points yesterday in that Knicks win, and the San Antonio Spurs have won an NBA, National Basketball Association playoff series for the first time since 2017. It's one of those days. Live from New York. Addie, good morning.
Good morning. That was my favorite rejoin we've played so far.
Men at Work, the Travis Pisano one.
That was great. I loved it.
Because he's from Australia. They do baseball in Australia now.
They do. They do the baseball thing. They do the whole baseball.
Curtis, who invented baseball? Come on.
Men at Work.
Good answer.
Good answer. That's close.
Pitt.
Abner Doubleday was a man who was working, no doubt. So you're halfway there. Abner Doubleday. Yep, Doubleday Field in Cooperstown, New York, home of the Hall of Fame. They have it in Australia. Travis Pisano, Men at Work, Man Down Under. I say Man Down Under?
Yes. But then he bonked you because
Touch
you
yourself.
said Man Down Under.
Big Gooner.
That's why he's got the bonk, ladies and gents. 310-840-4910. You can call.
Just
or
another
text the
private
show.
to
It's time
investigate.
for our obituaries. Obituary number one. Not the video that I promised you earlier of Reds fans being excited about the ABS challenge. We're unmourning this one. 11 strikeouts at a Reds game, at a Reds home game, means free pizza for all the fans. The 11th strikeout came via ABS challenge, and when Cincinnati found out it was in fact a strikeout, the whole place went bonkers.
Just missed. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. After that challenge, call the ball. Stevenson's 1-1 tonight. Can he win pizza for those in the stands? The crowd ready to burst. That's a strike! Pizza for everybody! That's how 2 challenges remaining.
I love it. I love the dropout, too. Just let the crowd eat. No need, play-by-play guy just
It's very Jim Nantz of him.
lets it be. It's super Jim Nantz Masters. Just let the crowd do its job. That is our first obituary today, but it's alive. We are the is resurrected. The Reds fans getting pizza on the 11th strikeout.
It is risen.
Dead today, the current structure of the American presidency. Yesterday, the White House tweeted out a picture of President Donald Trump next to the King of England, whose name is Richard?
Charles.
King Charles. Is it King Charles?
Yes, the third.
I'm sure you could check a list and their names would be on there. You can verify it.
King Charles III, the King of England. And it's a picture of him alongside President Trump. And the White House tweets out, 2 kings. Oh, interesting. Here, I mean, one of the decisions to make, tweeting out a picture of the president with the caption that he's a king. Odd. Here is 2 days ago, an interview from ABC, make it CBS with the president.
He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings.
What did security tell you about what may have been his motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
If I was a king, I wouldn't be doing. We have people out there doing no kings. Is one of the quotes of all time. It's just that one struck me yesterday as an interesting move from the intern who works for the White House Twitter account.
Could you imagine if, like, George Washington said that, like, out loud? Was like, just a couple of kings. Like, I think he would have been like...
They probably would have taken George... They would have killed George Washington.
Yes.
They would have done some black magic.
They would have made the Salem witch trials look like nothing.
But that was a little... Now, to that point, that was a little different because, you know, he very well could have been a king. George Washington could have just stuck around. You know, he was not a bright guy, George Washington. Did you know this?
Yes.
I've read a lot of books about George Washington, and he was effectively illiterate until late in his, if he ever really was proficiently literate. George Washington was illiterate. He couldn't really read or write. And
you and him are very
Curtis,
similar.
how many biological, I can't read. How many biological children, Arkansas, how many biological children did George Washington have? Come on, Curtis, you got this.
69.
A little bit less. 0. Dude was shooting blanks. Do you know that about George Washington? His only children were Martha's from her first marriage. Yeah.
He came in so
People don't
fast
know,
and
man.
so hard.
When they were building the United States, they're like, George, you go in the corner and you lead the army, which he was really good at. Let everybody, we'll write the stuff. We'll read and write and make the law. You just kind of stand over there and be 6'4", which would work on Addie. So there is that.
I was going to say, that's kind of like this show.
One of you just stand there and be tall. And they made him the president, and he just some accounts like he just wasn't bright enough to be like good, so he ended up being the best president, the best first president ever.
He's too busy worrying about checks and balances.
Lesson of the day. Good answer. Those are our obituaries today on the Drake Toll Show. Addie Bates producing, Curtis Poindexter running the board. It is time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addie Bates reads them. Drake Toll responds.
We'll dive into this a little bit more here in a little bit, but the NCAA, well, tournaments are set to expand to 76.
Stop. Please. Stop doing what you're doing. No one asked for this. No one needed this. No one wanted this. No one was. I mean, we get to the bubble every year, and you're like, no, Rutgers didn't make it, or oh man, NC State was only out by a couple games, or man, I thought this was the year for Wake Forest, and then we forget about it. A month goes by, 2 weeks go by. West Virginia got booted. Objectively better resume 2 years ago than North Carolina. And the North Carolina AD was on the committee. He was on the NCAA tournament committee. And so North Carolina, they ended up getting in, and West Virginia did not. And people were freaking out about this. And you know what? Addie, that information I just told you about West Virginia and them not making the NCAA tournament on the bubble, you didn't remember that. Curtis didn't remember that. No one remembers that. Because if you didn't make the tournament, we forget about it after a while. 76. It's all a big money-making thing. 24 teams in that little play-in tournament. I don't know, man. I'm fine with my March Madness being those weird games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then all day Thursday, Friday. But I guess the public wants more March in this way. Whatever.
Well, that means is that in a year I'll be here one less day.
Yeah.
Free Curtis. Here's your second headline. NBA is finalizing lottery reform proposal.
What do they want to move it to?
Well, this is great. This
is it like this 14-16 thing?
It was it says like, so they want to, it's to go against anti-tanking. And so what they're going to do is that it's a 3-2-1 lottery. So it expands the lottery, just like the NCAA with their tournament, to 16 teams, but it also flattens the odds. And this says, it literally says where the bottom 3 teams would be penalized with fewer lottery balls for the number 1 overall pick.
Oh. The bottom 3 teams would be penalized. So you don't want to be one of the worst 3 teams in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we then just going to create this loop where those 3 worst teams stay the 3 worst teams because they can't draft the top-end talent? Like, think Victor Wembanyama. That was a lottery ticket. Like, that was one NBA team was going to get a generational talent that could lead them to a title. I think the Spurs, they are still my favorites to win the title this year in the association. So I don't understand. The 3 teams you're hurting, the Wizards, the Kings, the Jazz, they're not going to be able to win now because whatever. That's a minute. That's just, okay.
Third headline, dominant.
I had better ideas, but whatever.
Oh. Dominant Embiid 76ers shut down Celtics in 4th.
Joel Embiid looked great. Maybe I should remove my appendix. Do you think my performance on the radio show would be even better? Would we elevate the show if I didn't have an appendix?
Yeah.
Because it seemed it elevated Embiid's game last night. 1 man, 0 appendix. That emergency appendectomy. It was obvious this series needed to be extended for him to return. The fact the 76ers did that, the fact that they got it to a Game 5, now a Game 6, opportunity to send it to Game 7, and they play in Philly for Game 6, by the way, with Embiid back, bodes well for a Sixers team playing a Celtics squad that I don't believe in. Oh, why don't you believe? The Celtics did not have a field goal in the last 7.5 minutes of this contest and scored 11 points in the 4th quarter. I intensely watched the Knicks-Hawks game last night and had the Celtics-Sixers on the side. And it was an incredible game until the Celtics just stopped doing basketball. Embiid, 33 points, 8 assists, and the Sixers have made this a series again. It's a minute. It's over a minute.
I don't know if you're going to like this one. Wild defense smothers Stars in Game 5 victory.
What's it going to take? You fired DeBoer. I don't understand. It's this time of year. The Dallas Stars get to the playoffs, and it's like they just can't even function, which I shouldn't be upset as a Dallas sports guy, as a Stars fan. I should not be upset because in the end of this, the Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup anyway. I don't think the winner of the Wild and Stars, because of how brutal this series has been and may continue to be, the door's open for the Stars to win the next 2. Surely. I saw the Stars have playoff magic last season. I think I'm programmed as a sports fan to not believe that's going to happen. And I do think the Avalanche being off this week is going to make the winner of this series and it's going to put them at an extreme disadvantage when they play the Avalanche. So, yeah, sure. The Stars lost. They got smothered. Jake Ottinger, any given night, up, down, all around. Whatever, though. It's you weren't going to beat the Avalanche anyway. If the Stars lose the series, I'm fine. I can sleep at night.
Here's your final headline. Carlos Mendoza, manager of the Mets. He's aware of hot seat, confident of rebound.
I mean, how has he not been fired? We're firing everybody here. We are firing everybody else. We refuse to fire Mendoza. We'll fire Alex Cora We'll fire the manager of the Boston Red Sox. We'll go to Philadelphia and do the same before we do anything in New York. The second most expensive roster maybe in baseball. Third one now. Granted, they're paying all of it to one human being. But they are spending at an alarming rate in New York just to lose. Fans don't like it. The franchise doesn't seem to care. And I don't. They're the Mets, man. Hit a home run, go Mets. It's not about the money, Spider-Man. It's all about the Mets.
It's all about the Mets. Actually, they're the number one payroll.
Oh! Is that including the Dodgers deferred?
Yes, I mean, if you... Yeah, I guess technically then they're second, but regardless...
Yeah, it's a weird... Yes.
This is the opposite of the Red Sox problem, where the Red Sox had a bad roster construction and a good manager. Like, this is a good roster construction. You're paying all these players a lot of money. Like, you have these big names. I mean, I don't like the roster, but, like, theoretically it's good on paper. But then you have a manager who doesn't know what he's doing out there.
Yeah. The roster's good. The talent is good. The combination is silly. That's why it doesn't, I don't look at it and think, ooh, wow, what a fun roster. I look at it and think, well, there's a bunch of good guys. Will they be able to play well together? The answer is no. Addy Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter running the board in Culver City, California. That was the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Oh, coming up. The NCAA tournament wants to move to 76 teams for March Madness. Here's why that is the worst idea in human history. This is the Drake Toll Show.
I'm just a stranger. My face you never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Big Gooner.
It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You know, you remember back in 2015 when you were driving a truck through the southern part of Washington, kind of, you know, back and forth, northern Oregon, southern Washington, and you're listening to the Super Bowl on the radio. It's Kevin Harlan on the call on Westwood One Sports. You thought, wow, this is Westwood One. Westwood One! Boy, how far we've come, huh? You always loved that guy. This is Westwood One Sports. And now 24/7 radio on one of sports' ultimate brands. Like, I grew up listening. I grew up idolizing Westwood One and the people on it. And now here we are, the Drake Toll Show. And now Curtis Poindexter. Is right here on Westwood One Sports. Blip Nitro.
Like I preemptively knew you were about to do it.
It's just Blip talking the third person about himself. Blip Nitro. I love how it's always them calling for each other, but yeah, Nitro. Did you hear the great news? What? Curtis got a new job. Yes, he is nonverbal. And yes, his only talents are sniffing. He is the private's inspector. Curtis Poindexter is going to work for Westwood One Sports. Oh, wow, Nitro. Tell him I said congratulations. The concept of the two superheroes of the network being named Blip and Nitro and their sidekick Curtis. The board op.
Do you hear a loud, like, banging sound coming from my mic?
Is it the bees?
No, that's Jasmine. When she drinks water, she'll put her whole face in the bowl, and then she starts choking.
Don't we all drink water that way?
Correct. Is Jasmine the ugly one?
Her grandfather's probably on the chat right now. Probably listening.
Is that the one that looks like a stick of animated dynamite blew up in her face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a real cute cat.
Yeah, that's believable.
I'm a knight.
You know, I had an idea today that I wanted to propose on the Drake Talk. I tell you guys often to go to the water cooler with a strong take. I want you to be a genius at work or at school today when you show up and your buddies want to talk about sports. And I don't want to veer from that. I want to give you, some big water cooler takes today that you can be you should know that the Knicks looked incredible last night and Jalen Brunson was top notch and that the Bruins extended the series thanks to David Pastrnak, and the Wild dominated the Stars in Dallas for the second time in this series. The Wild dominated the Stars in Dallas. The Oilers stayed alive against the Anaheim Ducks. Edmonton fans are happy. Nick Zararis is happy. You should know these things. San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama. But I am perturbed today because I had an idea, and I was told that idea was stupid. Okay, let me propose this idea to you. I was thinking the other day, the NCAA tournament has gotten it all wrong. March Madness is this stupid concept. They've gotten it incorrect. It shouldn't be what it is because it's too exclusive. Field of 68. 68 is way too exclusive. There are way too many teams that could make a run in March that aren't getting an opportunity. So here's what I thought. I sat down and I conceptualized this. I said, you know what we should do? This is my idea that I was told was stupid. So you know what we should do? It would be hard to have a 363-team tournament because, it's 363 teams in Division I and that kind of you'd have to play it at the Sphere in Vegas. Do something crazy with it to get all those games squeezed into the span of a week, a couple weeks, however long you want to do it. It's just logistical nightmare is what I'm getting at. So here's what we should do. We should take these 363 teams and play them in mini tournaments. Like you played a side tournament over here, you played a pool over there, almost like how they do the World Cup. Like you play a few games over there, and you do that, and then you're in that you're in that pool, and you're in that pool, and then let me reconstruct the idea. That would also be hard to pull off because it's tough to get a bunch of teams in one place. So what we would have to do is, divvy out 363 into a bunch of these pods or pools of, say, 10 to 16 teams. And it would only make sense to do it regionally, though. It would become then more digestible, this big tournament that I'm building with every team to give equal opportunity. So we build this tournament. And we build them based on we could call them conferences, leagues maybe, districts if you must. And then the winner of your district tournament, your league tournament, say your conference tournament, gets to go to the final bracket is what I would call it in this case. The field, almost. A field of 68 even seems fair. But I was told that idea is stupid. And exclusive. Well, hold on. How's my idea exclusive? Because I just told you all 363 teams get to compete in my bracket format. They all get to be involved in this. So how's it stupid? Well, it's just stupid. It's not equal opportunity. Hey, whoa. I don't need equal opportunity. I don't need all access to the NCAA tournament. I'm just, out of the kindness of my heart, giving it to you in this conference tournament format where you begin the NCAA tournament by playing the mini tournament regionally against teams similar to you. It seemed pretty foolproof to me. But the NCAA hated that. They said, this guy's an idiot. That's not going to make us any money. Oh, okay. Here's why the NCAA is doing it. Here's why the NCAA is moving in this direction. And that MONEY is where it starts. But loudly, the ACC has wanted an extension. They've wanted expansion to this tournament format. The Big 12 has too, because those two conferences, they believe in the current landscape of the transfer portal and NIL, this kind of middle class of these massive conferences is more volatile than ever. Your 6th best team and your 12th best team are not separated by that much anymore because as it sits with the portal, there's a ton of talent at the top of college basketball, and these teams are pretty even. Kansas could go on the road and win a game in Lubbock, Texas against top 10 Texas Tech, and then lose at home. The Jayhawks could lose at home to UCF, Johnny Dawkins. So the goal here for these conferences is they want to ensure that a 16-win team from a major conference like the ACC or the Big 12, who might have a good strength of schedule but just okay record, they want to make sure that team doesn't get left out. A la a 16-15 Auburn team last year. Is that who we're moving the goalpost for? Is that is this making you happy, sports fan? Because for me as a sports fan, this is yet another move where someone like George Orwell 1984, Big Brother in the sky, decides to do something that goes completely against how I want my sports to be, how I view my sports, my college athletics. This feels out of touch and unnecessary. Oh, but it'll help the middle class. It'll help these teams in the big conferences that are dumb. No. If you are 16-15 on the season, I do not need to see you in March Madness. Now for context here. Because, Daryl, you're wondering, as you drive to work at Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Daryl, you're wondering, why are they talking about this? Where did this come from? What does this have to do with anything? Well, Daryl, the NCAA is close, bad close, to the 76-team format being instituted next year in March Madness. They want to expand the tournament next season because they think it will appease the ACC. It will appease the Big 12 if the 9th place team, the 11th place team gets in. Now you'd have an 80% chance of making the tournament as the 10th place team in your conference instead of a 40% chance. They think that's going to help. I think ultimately it'll just be the big brands get fed even more, the Auburns of the world. The SEC and the Big Ten will get more and more teams. Their middle class will be awarded, not the middle class of the ACC. The ACC is not going to grow out of this. And you know what? There has been tension between the SEC, Greg Sankey. He is the most powerful commissioner in college athletics right now, far and away. And Sankey represents the SEC so well. He is a bully. And that's a compliment. There's a tension between the power conferences, Greg Sankey, the SEC, and the small mid-major leagues. Sankey has said previously, he's suggested the automatic qualifiers for the small conference champions. Hello, Siena. Hello, Fairleigh Dickinson. Hi, UMBC. He thinks they're taking spots away from better teams in bigger leagues. Now, expanding the tournament to 76 teams, the NCAA can keep the automatic bids for small schools, and Greg Sankey can be happy. 8 new at-large bids will go to the big schools. These new bids we're adding, they're not going to be given to Stetson. You're not going to see Mount St. Mary's in the NCAA tournament because the field was expanded. No, you're going to see more of Auburn, Mississippi State. You'll see Texas, Florida State in the NCAA tournament. Oh, and remember that money word? Current TV deals with CBS, Warner Brothers, Discovery. That goes until 2032. And the NCAA is already negotiating tweaks to this and this opening round. They want more money. Of course they do. Who doesn't? The TV revenue that will come from adding 8 new teams into the field, moving from 68 to 76. The TV money alone is going to be a massive boost for the NCAA, for these schools, for these conferences. Why wouldn't they want to do that? I'm telling you, you're going to dilute that first 4 magic. The Dayton, Ohio first 4 high-stakes Mount St. Mary's versus Fairleigh Dickinson, followed by Texas versus NC State. You're going to dilute that. Throw it away. It won't exist anymore. Your Tuesday, Wednesday of March Madness, that first week of March Madness. You are going to build a safety net for mediocrity. You're going to protect teams that finish below 500 in conference play in their major conferences and say, well, they're a big school, so they get to go to the NCAA tournament. They get a participation trophy. That's what we're handing out here. mediocrity is going to be rewarded. And no longer will it feel like every game matters in the regular season. Few games will actually matter. And now more low-seeded automatic qualifiers, 15s and 16s, like the Mount St. Mary's of the world, who we love to see in March Madness because they're great stories, they will be the ones forced into more play-in games. It is going to, because of that, by the way, even strengthen these 15 and 16 seeds and lead to more 1 and 2 seeds that get knocked out. So if the big conferences are saying, hey, well, we've got to have our teams getting in, the deeper the field, the more these 16 seeds in the play-in will be tough on the 1 and 2 seeds. Knock off the Kentuckys of the world, the Floridas, the Dukes. Is that what the conference commissioners wanted? Of course not. It's what they're asking for, though. They just don't know that. They're just not thinking that deep. You're going to marginalize mid-majors. You're not going to give these bids out to the bid thieves of the world like Indiana State. You're not going to do that. You're going to give these bids to the big brands. You're just giving the committee more room to love a 17-loss Big Ten team versus the 28-win Sun Belt champion. And if nearly 22% of all Division I teams make the tournament, where is the drama of a February Tuesday night in Ames or Tallahassee or Lexington? It's gone. Losing a quad 1 game doesn't even matter. Throw it all away, pack it in. The sport I love is ruined. Addie Bates producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we come back, the Phillies fired Rob Thompson and then immediately tried to hire Alex Cora as the team's manager. Here's how Alex Cora responded. 310-840-4910. Call or text the show. 310-840-4910. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Top rated.
I don't know why I keep on believing you need me when you've proved so many times that it ain't true. And I can't find one good reason for staying. Maybe my leaving would be the best for you. But these rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. And they let me hold on to the good times, good lines, the ones I used to hear when I held you. And they keep me from feeling so cheated, defeated, when reflections in your eyes show me a fool. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. So I'll just keep on hoping, believing that maybe by counting the many times I've tried, you'll believe me when I say I love you, and I'll lay these rose
Tell me something good. It's the Drake Toll Show.
Big Gooner.
Curtis Poindexter runs the board, and a ball knower produces. You want me to tell you something good? I can tell you something good. The Philadelphia Phillies are a disaster right now. Dumpster fire is a good way to describe it. If you're a team that is firing your manager, dumpster fire is a good way to describe it. Either your leadership, your front office, your roster, your manager, something is monumentally bad with the Philadelphia Phillies. So what, yesterday, 2 days ago, Monday on the show, Alex Cora had been fired, and somehow Addie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show, not even co-host. They should rework your title after this. Decides in a conversation about Alex Cora being fired to bring up the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, I didn't even ask Addie about the Phillies and Rob Thompson. This is just an Alex Cora firing of the Red Sox conversation. But here is what happened on Monday on this very program.
And there are 3 people on the planet right now who should be terrified for their job safety. That is Rob Thompson of the Philadelphia Phillies, because Dave Dombrowski over there, he and Cora, they're very close, very close. And if you look at the Phillies, not good. Not good at all right now. So if I'm Rob, I'm like, oh, man, I might actually lose my job at some point here. Not actually a good thing to see.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Good answer.
All
good
the way
answer.
from Austin, Texas. Cedar Park, Texas. Washington, D.C. now.
Pride of
Addie
the Jiggles.
Bates. Wow.
Call that.
The pride of the Jiggles. Addie, good morning.
Good morning. Actually, what's so funny is the first person, a friend of mine, actually a friend of you as well, Robbie Triano, texted me, and he was like, you actually
Big Gooner.
this, by the way. And I was like, called what? And he was like, I hadn't seen the news yet. So then I get up. I was about to take a nap. I texted it to everyone. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I know some things, guys, sometimes. Sometimes.
You done it. Congratulations. Take the victory lap. Take the victory lap. Take me through what you're now an interviewee of the Drake Toll Show. What were you thinking Monday into today? What have the last 48 hours been like for you?
I mean, it's been crazy. I've had so many radio hits. I've had so many opportunities. I just want to thank my family and my parents. It's been, we're just one big family. Trying to do all the PR, normal stuff.
Don't forget Big Sin. Don't forget Big Sin.
Big Sin. I couldn't have done it without Big Sin. I can't even say her name right.
Big Sin.
But what's so funny, because we were talking about it on the air and stuff, we were going back and forth, and I was like, yeah, they're really close. He's going to reach out to Cora. And then what did he do? He immediately was like, fire Thompson. Then he was like, hey, Alex. And yeah, you said it earlier. Alex is like, I'm going to chill. Toes in the water.
Yeah, he's in Cancun. He's at seaside right now. He's somewhere on a leaky boat out of gas outside of Wilmington Island in Savannah, Georgia. The firing of Rob Thompson obviously did not surprise you. I mean, is the Cora thing, him saying no, is that the most surprising piece of this whole thing?
No, I'm actually not that shocked because, when you get fired, you don't need to rush into a new job. I had a feeling that he was going to reach out to Cora. That I did know he was going to do because they're very, I said, they're friends, they're buddies. They worked closely together when they were both in Boston. Now, I could see Cora being the manager of the Phillies next year. I don't see Don Mattingly, which that dynamic's already weird because the assistant GM is
what do you think about
son.
Mattingly? Yeah.
That's a little, Don, he's awesome. That is a great manager. But I feel like that dynamic is just a little strange to have your son be the assistant general manager. You're the manager of a team. That's just a lot of family going on in one place. So I don't foresee him being the manager next year. I could see Cora coming next year, which is you know what? Take that break. I guess if you want to take the entire year, because basically we're only a month into the season, then take that break, spend time with your family. But I do think he'll be a Philadelphia Philly next season.
Families running a franchise seem to work out so well for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure why you're concerned. I don't know why
right.
Questioning
silly
this.
me.
The Dallas Cowboys. I think this is the first day I got bullied. I got bullied yesterday for wearing the same thing on every show. I have like 6 hoodies I rotate because they're all very comfortable to wake up in. So today, I dressed up for the show today. And guess who said something? None of you. No one said a single word. So I'm going right back to my Wilmington Island hoodie, my Valonia basketball hoodie, and riding off
but
in the sunset.
this. It's like, what's important? Oddity. Things that are odd. When you wear the same thing over and over again, people will notice that. When you wear a different outfit, no one's going to notice that because that's what normal people do, is they change their clothes.
Good answer. Good answer. Thank you. This was a good answer for the Philadelphia Phillies. I think this is an answer that's going to work. And part of this is I don't think Rob Thompson. I can say so. Here's the deal. This is Philadelphia fans. Come here. Kevin Patullo. He is the evil bad man. He is the hat man. He's the guy that you take too much Benadryl and Patullo finds you. I don't think Rob Thompson is that. I don't know if Rob Thompson is, and Philly fans can be harsh. They'll come after you. I don't see him. Does Topper need to be out? Yeah. Do I feel like he was the leader of the Gestapo? No, I don't think so. This is the right move, yes. But unlike a Patullo who was like, oh, you've got to fire him today, now, please, hurry. He's robbing us of our souls. This is the right move to move on for Philadelphia. Probably it's fine timing, whatever. Maybe you're an off season late. You'd rather done this 6 months ago. But after a historic slump, he's out. And I think it's this, hey, the change of the guard more than anything. Not some terrible human being who is destroying Philadelphia sports. The changing of the guard is going to be healthy for Philadelphia. Philly Rob. Pretty disastrous start. Well, they've lost 11 of 12. And Dave Dombrowski is the president. It's like, hey, I'm out. Again, 6 months ago, this sounds way better. Today, it's like I'm forced to do it. Hindsight's 20/20. And even Dombrowski confirmed in a presser that I fired the guy. And then I called Alex Cora. I fired the guy, and I called the manager who was fired himself 72 hours ago by the Boston Red Sox. I wanted Cora, who, again, as Addy mentioned, they'd worked together in Boston. I wanted Cora. I know him. 2018 World Series. I know him. So he just kept calling him. Sunday, Monday. Less than 24 hours after Cora was fired by the Red Sox. It was the "you up" text. You ready? Will you take over? Could you do this? And I think the most surprising part, not a ton of this is surprising. Again, I don't think moving on from Thompson is shocking to anybody this week. But the most surprising part of an unsurprising story is that Cora said no. He didn't have, as you kind of peel back the layers, he didn't have more than 24 hours to focus on his life post Boston. If it was 3 weeks of him on a houseboat in Horn Lake in Arkansas, outside of Des Arc, Arkansas, then yeah, okay. 3 weeks of vacation, he's settled in, he's spending time with his family, he's changed mindsets. Within 24 hours of Boston making a move, it sounds like Dombrowski was in his DMs saying, don't go into vacation mode yet. We want you. And then the Boston Globe and USA Today report that Cora has decided to step away. He wants to step away from the game, from baseball entirely. He wants to go back to Puerto Rico, spend time with his sons, and just chill for a second. Oh, and by the way, the Red Sox are paying Alex Cora $13.5 million to not manage the team. He'll get $13.5 million through 2027 to go to Cancun, to go to Puerto Rico, to go to Horn Lake in Des Arc, Arkansas. Fired less than a year into his extension. $21.75 million extension. And that dead money, great. Those are two great words to put together if you're a fired guy. That dead money probably made the decision to prioritize family pretty easy. And now he can prioritize his family instead of prioritizing a $300 million Phillies roster. Don Mattingly, the interim. This is Dombrowski calling the shots. This is not a bad spot to be in if you're Philly. There's 162 games. A lot of season left. Now, today's game matters just as much as the game on September 28th. Do not forget that. But you got plenty of time to right the ship. And Mattingly takes over a clubhouse that is surely reeling. This is Thompson. Again, Thompson's not the bad, evil guy. He's not the enemy. But Mattingly is a more than serviceable interim, and there's time for Philly to turn it around. Coming up, it's our idiot of the day. And let's talk some NBA. Last night was a hoot and a holler. It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One.
It's up to you.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. 2 hours down already. Good morning, Montana. The kind people of Butte. Good morning,
It's still like
Sarasota,
butt.
Florida. Good morning to Rochester, New York. And good morning to Camp Pendleton, where those two water towers do kind of look like boobs. Haboob.
They do be nuclear.
FCC. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. I didn't understand. When you said it yesterday, Curtis, I thought you were devaluing and disrespecting our troops.
I'm just a ball knower.
Which I could not allow on this show. And then after you showed me the picture of the water tower. I don't think they're water towers, by the way.
Nuclear
I'm not
tanks
convinced
or
they're water
something.
towers.
Actually.
Sure, yes. Submarines. But
Bazookas
they
be nuclear.
Look, bazookas. Yeah. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning.
Good morning, Curtis. Good morning, Camp Pendleton. And I was taking shots from the front and the back. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. And last night, the Bruins over the Sabres, 2-1, overtime. Game winner on the road, silenced the home crowd. Buffalo still leads the series, 3-2. The Wild, 4-2 over the Dallas Stars, the American Airlines Center. Not worth staying up for if you're a Dallas Stars fan. Gross game if you're a Stars fan. Doubled up at home. And the Oilers over the Ducks by a score of 4-1. This one was over after the first period. 3-0 going into the second. The Oilers ran away with it. They held that. And Anaheim, who's controlled the series and still controls it up 3-2, looked embarrassing. And a big reason why is Connor Ingram, who was spectacular in goal last night for the Oilers. In the NBA, I told you, I'm recording today's show. I'm live on today's show from New York City. I can see right outside my window is the Hudson River. I'm looking at the Hudson River. And there is a palpable buzz about the New York Knicks. 126-97, they knocked off the Hawks last night. 76ers 113, Celtics 97. The Trailblazers fall to the Spurs 114-95. Denny Advia, his playoff run is over. Victor Wembanyama's is just getting started. The concussion kid, 17 points, 15 rebounds, 6 blocks. Or was there a concussion? He really wanted to play. The NBA wouldn't let him. He's still mad about that and said he's going to talk this offseason about how frustrating it was and what change needs to be incited by the NBA. But all of that's for later, because it's time for our Idiots of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day, number 1, Javier Baez. Javi Baez, last night, awkwardly, slide's not the right word. Forward falling, knees buckling into first base last night. Here is the audio from TNT.
And then the right knee kind of buckled under, so a short step right there. And then right there, ouch. The foot rolls under, putting all that pressure on the ankle and the knee. Right there. My goodness. That's not good.
Addy, Javier Baez, I've decided he is the inverse of JaVale McGee. Remember JaVale McGee, how he was so bad that Shaq'd in a fool, he was the everyday guy. You turn on TV, and what funny, terrible basketball thing did JaVale McGee do? Then he became good. Like, unironically, JaVale McGee for a while was just really good at basketball. That's what Javier Baez is, but the opposite. Like, Javi Baez bursts on the scene to the MLB, and like, wow, Javi Baez, good. I want this player on my team. And now at least once a week, he does one of the stupidest things that baseball has ever seen. Javier Baez, and go.
I can't even fathom that's what was he trying to do? Understand he was trying to slide into first, which by the way, no one does that. No one does. I've seen people dive into first. I've seen that a million times if it's really important play.
For sure.
I've seen that. No one slides into it, so I don't know what he was doing there. But if you look at it, I feel bad for the Tigers, honestly, because Javi Baez is probably the worst signing in Tigers history. Easily.
History, really?
I mean, he's pretty bad, and the money they offered him at the time.
Yeah. He's not great, and now he's sliding butt first into first base. He's the first idiot of the day. Just slide normal next time. Idiot of the day, Adam Silver. This tweet comes from my friend Chris Bleck of Bleck and Abdallah. Well, he's quote tweeting. Shams, yes, Curtis's favorite show, Bonk. And Bleck says, Adam Silver wants the NBA to be international soccer so bad. Here's the gist. The NBA has disclosed to its 30 GMs, per Shams, a singular new anti-tanking reform that expands the draft lottery to 16 teams, flattens odds, have a relegation zone where the bottom 3 teams are penalized with fewer lottery balls for the number 1 pick. So we're moving into effectively an international soccer format. This 3-2-1 lottery proposal, named to represent the number of lottery balls per team, would expand the lottery from 14 to 16 teams. Teams that do not qualify for the playoffs or play-in tournament but stay out of the relegation zone, spots 4 through 10, would receive 3 lottery balls each. Are you following yet? Here, before I lay this out for you in layman's terms, I'm going to read the next 2 paragraphs, and then we'll talk. Buckle up. Teams with a bottom 3 record, the relegation zone, would have just 2 lottery balls, but have a floor of the 12th pick, while the rest of the 13 lottery teams could fall as far as the 16th pick. The 9th and 10th play-in seeds, each conference, receive 2 lottery balls each, while the losers of the 7-8 play-in games receive 1 ball each. In addition, no team would be able to win the top pick in consecutive years, or be able to win 3 consecutive top 5 picks. Teams also would not be able to protect picks in the 12 to 15 slots going forward. We have a saying with the Savannah Bananas, confuse, you lose. When we start to add new rules or do things differently, we try to make sure it's digestible for the fans and they can understand it. I think the idiot of the day is absolutely Adam Silver today. Did any of what I just read make sense to you? A 3-2-1 lottery? A 16-team lottery?
It does,
yes?
but it doesn't mean it's a good idea. John Lunn and I we were talking about this in various sports earlier this year. I think about a month ago, we were talking about all of these sports. Let's rank all of the new rules that they put into various sports on the most effective, the ones that are actually good, and the worst ones, and kind of just changing the overall structure of each league in general. You don't have to do that. Sure, yeah, we have to address anti-tanking, but is that the way to do it? Is that it?
I don't think so. I'm confused still. Teams the relegation zone, there's a relegation zone. There's already the 9-10 play-in and the 7-8 play-in. And the only part that I liked and it made sense, and I was like, oh, yeah, let's do that, is no team would be able to win the top pick in consecutive years or have 3 consecutive top 5 picks.
So MLB already does that. MLB already does that part where you can't have back-to-back number 1s, and I do like that. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And I think it's very effective, so I'm okay with that being added in.
I think the beer. I thought the beer proposal was the best one. For every loss in your NBA season, your beer prices have to go down 10 cents. Yeah.
I live in D.C. Big fan of the Wizards.
They're paying you. D.C. is paying you to drink their beer at a Wizards game. That was
the least that DC could do.
That would be that. It would keep every team would want to win so badly. Every owner, every GM would want to win so badly, all of the time. Also, idiot of the day, people who still tweet about this sort of stuff. Of course, these engagement farmers love to do it. They just tweet to garner traction. This guy is from Prophet X. calls it America's #1 sports prediction market. I'm not sure. Okay. Vinny's Corner tweets, would you support a return of the Cleveland Indians name and logo? And the further removed we get, Addy, from Chief Wahoo being a real logo in the MLB, anytime it pops back up and I see it, it's like jarring. Like, I don't want to encourage people to look up the Chief Wahoo logo on their Google, but wow, my goodness, wow. We played a game in Cleveland, 2024, and there's still a Chief Wahoo logo in the weight room there. Yeah.
I already know people are going to be in the comments like, oh my God, we're so soft, whatever, like that. But the Blackhawks, that one is one that can keep because they're actually honoring a chief. They're actually honoring him. They're very vocal about how much they honor his legacy. But the Cleveland Guardians old one, I don't know why people still care about that kind of stuff. Why can't you be focused on the fact that they're going to switch up their announcers? Maybe someone's doing, Jose Ramirez, what is he going to do? Why can't we focus on the now? Why do we have to be like, oh my God, would you support this coming back?
It's a fair question. What is Jose Ramirez going to do? I understand what we're going for there.
I mean, we could talk about it. Do you think he's going to be like AL MVP? I don't think so.
Yeah, you tell him. Also, has your life changed at all? You live in D.C. Has your life changed at all for the worse because D.C. changed its branding?
No. I couldn't care. Actually, if there's one person who understands this more than anybody, I went to a school during my freshman year of college. They changed the mascot. During my freshman year.
Really? Valpo?
Yes, they were the Crusaders for the longest time, so all of my uniforms, all of my stuff had Crusaders.
Why'd they change Crusaders?
Can't say the Crusades are a very great part of history.
Yeah. That was the killing people in the name of religion one?
Yes. So they put it up to a vote to the school, to everybody, hey, donors, here are some options, or you could submit some. I submitted raccoons. It did not get a vote. But they were here are some, cool things. You can be the Valpo Dune Hawks, because it was the Indiana Dunes, and, the Hawks up there, and all this kind of stuff. And then the president, who was there for basically just, a drink and then left, Jose Padilla, have some thoughts on him. He chose beacons, so that's why we're the Valpo Beacons.
Did you ever consider Valpo Bananas?
I think I would have transferred immediately.
Dang, it's kind of sad. Idiot of the day. The Secret Service? Addy, what do you got on this? Can I tell you what's happening right now? Can I go behind the scenes here?
Yeah.
I put my microphone on, the little stand every day that it sits on, and it is just exploded. There are parts everywhere. There's blood all over the floor. I may lose my arm. I'm like the one guy who throws beanbags and murdered someone.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, yes,
Remember
the Secret
him?
Service
A
allegedly.
little nub?
Patrick Webb on Twitter says, breaking. Secret Service agent shot during the attempted assassination of Donald Trump was likely struck by gunfire from another agent.
No. Guys, I keep telling them not to do that. Leroy Jenkins. I was told no one was shot. This is news to me, by the way. Is that real? Someone? I guess I should have read more into it.
This wouldn't have happened if they had a bigger ballroom.
The ballroom is the thing of security. And final idiot of the day, me, for owning a boat. Because I thought... People always, they kept telling me. They'll always say, oh, the worst part of being a boat owner, the most expensive part is not the day you buy it. It's the months of owning it, where you're repairing all of the things and catering to the boat and buying the world's most expensive gas possible. My boat has a leak on the trim motor thing, and I have no update. There is a mechanic. 2 weeks. There is a mechanic. He can fix it. It's super easy, actually. I wish I could do it myself, but I can't. It sounds super easy. That's the boat update. Who wanted a boat update?
Everybody in the comments.
Yeah. And I was taking shots from the front and the back. I read those comments every day. I'm like Santa Claus in that way. Most of them are not suitable for work, so we can't really go over the air with them, but I read them. When we return, when we come back, Noobs Christensen joins the Drake Toll Show, talking NBA from BetUS. Last night was a movie. If you're a New York Knicks fan, can they keep it going? And can they make it like a real run? This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Pitchers fire.
Go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to throw. Notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo can doll. I guess time does make fools of us all.
Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Last night was pretty damn good in hockey. If you're a Boston Bruins fan, sitting there in overtime wondering, is the next goal that goes in the one that ends our season? Well, no. It stays alive. 2-1 win over the Sabres. Wild over the Stars. Oilers over the Ducks. And as good as that Bruins game was, the other two blowouts got out of hand. My focus, all I could do was stay dialed in Manhattan last night in this little swanky bar on the New York Knicks and the palpable buzz in this city surrounding those New York Knicks. Now joining the Drake Toll Show, Noops Christensen at _Noops on Twitter, BetUS. And Noops, that buzz is still there this morning. The Knicks take a 3-2 series lead. Is this Knicks team a true contender in an East that seems more and more wide open the more the Detroit Pistons lose?
Yeah, Drake, I love your use of the word palpable because it is perfect. When you are in New York, you know exactly how the city feels about the Knicks, I think at all times, not even just around playoff time. And I really believe they are New York's favorite team. I know the Yankees compete with them quite a bit. Everyone loves the Rangers, the football teams. But, Manhattan, New York City, that's the Knicks, baby. And I think part of the reason that everyone is so into that is because, to your question, they do have a chance to compete to win the Eastern Conference here. Now, I think in general, as we talked about before, whoever comes out of the West, whether it be Oklahoma City or San Antonio, is almost certainly going to be big favorites over whichever team comes out of the East. But you've got this Knicks team that came into the series as pretty comfortable favorites, and they've been tested. Now, is that a test they're going to fail? I don't think so. Or is that a test that is going to inform how they play the rest of the season, how they play in the next round and the round after that? So I think that's why New York is so locked in on the Knicks, and I do still think they have a chance to win the East. If they come out of this series against Atlanta, which I expect them to do, most likely face the Celtics. Boston probably the best team in the East. But the Knicks match up really well with them. There's a lot of problems the Knicks can present to the Celtics that I'm not sure Boston has the answers for.
As it pertains to the East and what we've seen so far, from a low-scoring, defensive, nobody's shooting well series between the Magic and the Pistons, or a Celtics team that scored 11 points in the fourth quarter last night, or a Knicks team that Mike Brown said, well, I'm not saying we're going to win the whole thing. Are we seeing playoff magic in the East in these series, or is this just some mucked up April basketball?
Little column A, little column B, Drake. I think everyone sort of forgets that the playoffs really are much different than the regular season. It is a much tighter, slower, more grindy form of basketball for a couple reasons. Number one, these are must-win games, right? To advance the next round, you have to win. And teams in those situations usually slow the pace way down because they don't want to turn over the ball and they want to maximize the shot clock. At the same time, these guys are playing each other every couple nights. That means there's time in between games, not only to practice, but to scheme for what everyone's doing. And I think that's the fun of it, to watch the chess match game to game.
It's funny you mentioned teams not wanting to turn the ball over. You slow it down, and the Magic have slowed it down. They've controlled pace in this series against the Pistons, but still, Cade Cunningham is turning the ball over at not just an alarming rate, but now a historic rate in this series. Are you counting out the Detroit Pistons yet down 3-1? Because I don't. The way they've played, I don't have much of an inkling. The way Cade Cunningham has played, much of an inkling to see them come back and topple the Magic.
Yeah, someone that's had a lot of faith in Detroit throughout the season. I am still holding on to a sliver of it, but the more I watch these games, the more I realize this is just a nightmare matchup. What Detroit brings every night is a level of defense, physicality, and rebounding that most other teams can't match. Orlando loves playing that way. They're just as physical. Yeah. Again, the turnovers have been a problem, but Orlando's out-rebounded Detroit in every single one of these games, and it's just such a huge, huge difference. What I will say is whoever wins this series, which honestly seems more and more like it's going to be the Magic, I think I have a great chance against the winner of Cleveland-Toronto.
That Cleveland and Toronto series has been the one that I think on this show we've talked about at least. By the way, to listeners, Noops Christensen joining the Drake Toll Show @_Noops on Twitter to find more of his basketball coverage. Raptors-Cavs is the series we have overlooked. Are either of these teams, because I ruled them both out in my book, are either of them contenders to win the East to you?
There really are not. The Raptors just lack the star talent to win 3 series in a row, whereas Cleveland, I think, has it, but there's just so many holes with this team. You know, I've started calling the Cavaliers players Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen talls instead of bigs. A lot of guys refer to centers and power forwards as bigs in the NBA. I'm just not sure Mobley and Allen are. They're tall, but they're not big. They're just getting absolutely bullied. I think tonight's game is going to be really interesting. I like the Raptors tonight. I'm not sure if they can win this game outright, but I'm seeing the spread sitting at 8.5, Drake. Get yourself some Raptors plus 8.5. These games have just been absolute brawls, and that's too many points in a game that I think will be contended all the way down to the final buzzer.
The Oklahoma City Thunder get to sit at home for a little bit after a sweep in the first round, and nobody looked more crisp than OKC in round 1 of the NBA postseason. Are they still your favorite to win it all?
Absolutely. I don't see how you can expect any other team. San Antonio would be the only other real contender simply because of Wembanyama and how good the guards are. I'm seeing the Thunder right now, minus 130 to win the championship. I still think that is a bet worth making. I've got a bunch of money on the Thunder to win the title from the season. It's an opportunity. It's this incredible moment where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably the best player in the world from a basketball perspective. Offensively, he is the best scoring guard we've seen in a long time. Defensively, he's very good. And he plays on a team that has unbelievable depth. I mean, they have 7 or 8 guys who are incredible wing athletic defenders that can shoot. They have big guys in Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein who can play together, who can play separate. There is literally nothing Oklahoma City can't do on a basketball court. And over this, next month and a half, I think we're just going to see how great they are.
You mentioned San Antonio as that only other team in contention for knocking off the Thunder. We saw them have success in the season series in the regular season. I have San Antonio. I think that San Antonio and OKC Western Conference Final will be the true NBA Finals, the 2 best teams in the league right now. That said, Victor Wembanyama, this Spurs squad, closing things out against the Trailblazers. Is this Spurs, because the question was, all right, I mean, a lot of their guys haven't had that postseason experience, is this Spurs team as good as they can look right now for a squad still feeling its way through the grind of postseason play in the NBA?
It's scary to think, Drake, but absolutely not. This Spurs team, I think, is going to get better and better over the next couple years. As you see younger guys like Steph Castle improve his shooting, like Dylan Harper get more comfortable and earn himself more minutes. And they still had plenty of assets to work with. This is a team that has a lot of draft picks, that has a way to go out and add free agents in free agency should they want. I think this team is nowhere near its peak, and that's why it's so exciting.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama was at it again last night, namely on the glass and defensively. All right, Noops, this is the stuff that we all really get paid for. The terrible headline conversation, take away from the court stuff for about the lottery and the tanking and all the. I made this point, I think, a few weeks ago that it's like a tree. If the tree falls in the woods, no one's around to hear it. Did it really make a sound? If no one talked about NBA tanking, would we complain at the rate that we do? Or are we just complaining because we love to complain? And now the association has released this new lottery relegation proposal. What do you make of not just this proposal, but the tanking in general? Is this a plague on the NBA that needs fixing immediately?
I think it falls into a larger narrative that I realize more and more the more I watch this sport. Someone once said, Drake, that the biggest problem the NBA has is that their fans hate the NBA. And it seems to be overwhelmingly proved again and again. I think the tanking thing is a problem. You don't want teams losing games. But I think what people are really complaining about is there are bad games in the NBA. Of course there are. Even if we fix tanking, the Brooklyn Nets playing the Sacramento Kings is going to be bad. What I will say about the measure that seems like it's going to pass, I'm a little surprised people first time that the NBA is really considering the idea that the teams with the absolute worst records shouldn't have a better chance than everyone else to win the lottery. And for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with what's been suggested, the NBA is basically going to flatten out the lottery odds except for the teams that have the 3 worst records. The teams historically with the 3 worst records have had better odds than everyone else for the number 1 pick. This new system that's been proposed, again, still has to be voted in by the Players Union and the owners, I believe, would actually take those 3 teams and make their record worse. So I'm excited about that. I still don't think it is a perfect measure. I still think you will find teams trying to maybe get into that kind of middle section of the lottery and stay in there, if you will. But for the first time, the owners and the NBA have said, you know what, let's actually make things a little bit tougher if you really are one of the 3 worst teams.
It's like a lone survivor situation. You know, if there's a catastrophe in D.C., there's always the one guy they leave outside of the room who's 70th down the line to be president. If Adam Silver croaks and then the next guy, and somehow we get down to Noops Christensen as the commissioner of the NBA. What is there? Okay, there is no easy fix, but what is the fix, the quick fix, if you have one, for the tanking, the lottery, the draft, for all of this that people are complaining so frequently about?
I think it is just either to eliminate the draft altogether, and my problem with that is I don't know what it looks like beyond that. How do we create a system where teams have equal opportunity to go and try to acquire some of these young players? Or it's as simple as saying everyone has the same odds to win the draft. Now, maybe you tweak that a little bit so the teams that are in the finals are slightly less than the teams that are in the conference finals, et cetera, et cetera. But pretty much every team, but maybe the final 4, the final 8 teams that are in the playoffs have exactly the same odds. And then it's ubiquitous. It no longer matters whether you have the worst record or, you know, the 12th worst record. It's the same. So instead of teams trying to position themselves for more ping pong balls, they're trying to win games to bring fans back. They're back to focusing on just playing basketball and developing a team.
Noops, I'll leave you with this. Again, that the gross headlines in the middle of the playoffs that come up, and we have to talk about them. Now, after the Trailblazers lost, I'm hearing out of their front office the disappointment that Spirit Airlines is going under because that was going to be the team plane they were going to fly commercial next season. How much of this Portland, the poor Portland Trailblazers, how much of this should Blazers fans fear, like truly fear?
If I was a Portland Trailblazers fan, I would be very scared. And I think the telling moment will be they're going to have to sign a coach this offseason. Obviously, Chauncey Billups has been arrested. He's going through that whole process, can no longer be the coach of Portland. Thiago Splitter, the interim coach who has coached all but 1 game for the team this year, still is not under contract. And what you really see from great teams is a willingness to spend on coaches, is a willingness to spend on training staff, is a willingness to spend on those things that are outside of the salary cap. That's how you really gain an advantage, right? Those dollars aren't counted and monitored and restricted. And not that you have to have the highest paid head coach or the biggest, training staff and things like that, but we've seen historically teams like when the Phoenix Suns really tried to cut down on that stuff, or the Clippers when they basically ran bare bones, were taking these great teams and limiting what they could possibly do. And if you're a Trailblazers fan, you have one of the most exciting Portland teams we've had in a while, folks. There is some really great young talent there. It seems like a moment where it's all coming together and we can take a step forward. But how hard is it going to be to take that step if we don't have a good coach because we're unwilling to pay it, if our players are getting hurt because we don't want to pay the training staff, if we've got guys that are too tired night to night because we aren't giving them the appropriate accommodations. Again, hopefully none of this, the guy who owns the team, he's a billionaire, wakes up and goes, you know what, I can really maximize my asset by spending on these things. But if I'm a Trailblazers fan, I'm watching this offseason closely, and I am concerned.
He is an expert on the association, and phone calls don't get much more energetic than that. Noops Christensen, thank you so much for your time this morning joining the Drake Toll Show.
My pleasure, Drake. Best of luck until we talk again.
Yes, sir. @_Noops on Twitter. You can find the latest in his work on the NBA and the best bets during the postseason throughout the playoffs. Addie Bates producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. I do want you to make sure that's a great conversation point for the water cooler. Remember, we've been over this. When you go to the water cooler today, what Noops just gave you about Portland, scared. Fans should be scared. The lack of investment, the lack of willingness to invest, Portland Trailblazers fans should be scared. But there is a young nucleus where the Blazers, if they take it seriously, could be very good at basketball in the next 3 to 5 years. Denny Advia is like the king of that. He's become a top 10, top 15 player in the NBA, was great this postseason. The Blazers just didn't have enough to topple the world-beating Victor Wembanyama-led Spurs. Blazers fans have a lot to be excited for, but probably even more to be scared for, based on what Noops Christensen just gave us. When we return, let's go back to last night in the basketball, in the National Basketball Association, and give you a glimpse into the NHL, previewing tonight as well. Because, dude, I got a pretty strong take about the Magic and Pistons. Yeah, you need to know this one. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The
gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power, and as God has struck the hour, day of judgment God is calling. On the knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sins. Satan laughing spreads his wings. Oh Lord, yeah.
Rolling in the gun with me.
Big Gooner.
Good morning. It's the Drake Toll Show. In the middle of that interview with Noops Christensen, I spilled my Diet Dr. Pepper all over myself. I middle of the interview, waxing, I'm saying some BS about the lottery and whatever, and I just sit it just on the lip of the desk, and then bang. I'm drenched. I'm covered in it.
Stop.
And even if you go back to the right, because we're live on TV, if you go back to the right point of the video, you will definitely, it got on my computer. It was violent. You will see the water squirt up into the air out of the bottle and onto my lap, which, it's everywhere. Oh. Only me. And then Addie started saying some stuff about how I need a sippy cup, and I continue to make messes everywhere. I pee on myself. I defecate myself. I spill tea. And I have just, the amount of bullying that occurred in the course of the last 7 minutes into break was a lot for me to do.
Don't bully him, guys. Don't bully him. Don't bully him.
Do not bully me.
It came in so fast and so hard.
Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, live from New York City, the greatest city in the world. Steps away from LaGuardia today, headed out in a second to Las Vegas, where you and I can play blackjack together all weekend long if you prefer to do so. I watched the entirety of the New York Knicks game last night, caught a show on Broadway, and then bang, right into the Knicks. Watched the Spurs dominate. I was super impressed with the 76ers with Joel Embiid, but more than I was impressed with the 76ers, I was sad, and I was robbed of what could have been a good basketball game by the Boston Celtics. They robbed me of what could have been a fun basketball game by scoring 11 points in the fourth quarter. 11 points in the entire fourth quarter. 7.5 minutes left to play. And the Celtics would not make another field goal the rest of the contest. The entire night, it was just Joel Embiid dominating. No appendix. Dominating the Celtics. As heard on ESPN, Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter makes it arm's length, and the Sixers keep it that way.
And a quick re-entry had McClellan.
That's not the right one. I'm just going to stop it.
Joel Embiid fade away somewhere in there in the
on Jaylen Brown. Embiid against Tatum. Pulls back, backs in, falling away. It's up. It's good.
Curtis Poindexter strikes again.
Click
Joel
the other
Embiid.
one.
It was just that over and over and over and over. 33 points last night. What a return. And now the series extended. The Sixers have officially made it interesting. San Antonio, icing on the cake, icing on a series victory. Victor Wembanyama slams it home. Well, slams it back in your face, that is. His sixth block of the game was the exclamation point.
To get back and show what he's got left.
There's a lot of young talent around this team. Wembanyama just steals Kamara's soul. And out of bounds. San Antonio ball, his sixth rejection, and the crowd rises as one.
It is cool to see San Antonio back. For the first time since 2017, the Spurs have won an NBA playoff series, and the city is buzzing. Greg Popovich in the middle of it, and a team that feels like it represents San Antonio with a certified star, maybe the best basketball player on earth right now, Victor Wembanyama, who did it again last night. 17 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 blocks for Wemby. And on the ice, Boston Bruins fans watched the game go into overtime, their contest go into overtime yesterday against the Sabres in Buffalo. And if Buffalo wins the game, the series is over. 5-game series, we go home, we're done. But Boston, with the knowledge that every time the Sabres come down the ice, they could just win the game, end it, series is over. The Bruins did not fold. And in overtime, who else but that's right, David Pastrnak, game-winning goal.
Reps and a quick re-entry. Had McLeod breaking, couldn't get it there. Stretch pass on. Pastrnak in. Scores!
Makes the left pad save. And then the puck goes the other way. And Pastrnak sneaks in behind everyone. And a little cutback move as he makes it on the forehand here. Great edge work to cut back, stop on a dime, and then slide it past the left skate of the goaltender, Alex Lyon. I mean, this is just a magnificent individual effort here by a multi-talented player, and he has been the difference maker on the offensive side of it for that one. And as Bruce said earlier, I mean, the plays weren't happening easily for Pastrnak.
Pastrnak was the difference maker in the 2-1 victory in OT. Oh, and then, by the way, the Oilers over the Ducks. But this one was a little bit different. I'm going to give you what you did not get today, and I always promise one of these. It is a home goal in the postseason. This put the Oilers up 3-0 in the first period over the Ducks, and Edmonton fans who are hungry to regain control of a series or look competent in a series after last year losing in heartbreaking fashion in the playoffs. This season, the Oilers, who are still down 3-2, they at least got a glimpse of hope last night in the first period with their third goal of the period.
Himself, McDavid, inside, poked away from Draisaitl one time, tipped home! Draisaitl from Bouchard, 3-0, Edmonton!
Yeah, that's what you came for. The home hockey goals. And now tonight, on the ice, the Canadiens at the Lightning, the Penguins at the Flyers, the Mammoth and the Golden Knights. You got to be dialed in. You have got to be dialed in on the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers. This one's almost toss-up coin flip territory from a betting standpoint. Philly leads the series 3-2. Philly led the series 3-0. Pittsburgh's won the last two, could send it to a Game 7 if they win in Philadelphia. That's worth watching. Mammoth and the Vegas Golden Knights. I'll be in Vegas. I should go. Maybe I'll probably go to that game tonight. You know what? I'm going to go. Mammoth Golden Knights tonight. I'll wake up tomorrow and tell you about it. Canadiens and Lightning, Montreal at plus 142 with the series tied at 2 games apiece. And in the NBA, you really want to watch this. The Detroit Pistons, a 1 seed. They don't just lose to the Magic. They'll lose a series in 5 games. A 1 seed losing to an 8 seed in 5 games. Tonight's the night. Tonight is the night. Cade Cunningham has not played well, home or away. Detroit has not played well at home in the postseason. The Magic, Paolo Banchero, will upset the Pistons again, take the series in 5 games, and the Magic move on. Past the 1 seed. From play-in to past the 1 seed. Raptors, Cavs at 7:30 Eastern, then Rockets and Lakers. The Lakers will end that series tonight. They lead at 3-1. And anybody seen Kevin Durant? Anybody know where Kevin Durant is? If you see him, let us know. You can call or text the show at any point in time. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910 if you spot him. It's Wednesday. Time for Who Am I? Addie, you ready?
Are you ready? Okay, we'll take that as a yes. We'll take that as a yes.
Big Gooner.
Here's your first one. American band leader, composer, and pianist. He was on tracks like Take the A Train, It don't mean a thing if I ain't got that swing. And he was born in Washington, D.C. He also had like a little funny character spoof in Big Mouth.
Oh, man. Curtis?
No idea.
No, I don't, this was a hard one.
Okay.
Who is that?
Duke Ellington.
No.
Okay, another birthday today. American country singer-songwriter. Wrote Crazy, On the Road Again. From Texas.
Curtis?
Fight Club.
The pride of Abbott, Texas, the former Baylor Bear, playing his guitar Trigger, that'd be Willie Nelson.
Good job, Drake.
Good answer.
All right, here's your next one. This one's pretty easy. American auto racer, 7 NASCAR Winston Cup Series championships. He's from North Carolina.
Only know Dale Jr. Is it Dale Jr.?
Who's his dad?
Dale.
Good job, Curtis.
Big Dale.
Curtis got it.
Curtis cannot get a point for that. We cannot give Curtis a point for that.
Give you points for this one?
Give him a sippy cup. This is a Mickey Mouse game.
I think Curtis got that fair and square. Okay, here's the next one. Celebrating a birthday. He's an American comedian and actor. He was in the Bee Movie.
Oh, man. Curtis.
Nicolas Cage?
What was he doing in the Bee Movie? No, you're looking for Jerry Seinfeld.
Good answer. Good job. Okay. So
Crazy that you, out of all the things Jerry Seinfeld has done, you said the Bee Movie, the damn Bee Movie.
If you said guy that went to a high schooler's prom, I would have known it immediately.
Here's the next one. 1970 American actress. She was in, 1970 is when she was born. American actress. She was in Pulp Fiction. Her daughter is Maya Hawke.
Curtis.
I know her. I know her face, but I don't know her name.
Uma Thurman.
Drake won, fair and square.
Wow, Curtis, take that. I haven't lost a game in a long time against Big Kurt. He's gonna start reading books or watching movies or something. He's just watching Fight Club and listening to that one song, the Sping Bing Beep Bop Boop song.
Electric Zoo.
Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Armin Williams, Colin Jones, Ryan McGuire, Bruce Gilbert. You better, you bet time. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you. Bye. This is the Drake Cole Show.
Westwood One Sports.